Today I would like to talk about new allegations that have come up against Cardinal Bernardine, and also I want to talk about the USCCB meeting. Recently, the website Church Militant released a video on YouTube of an interview with James Grein. He was a McCarrick victim, and he was interviewed on Church Militant before and on Taylor Marshall's channel. In the Taylor Marshall interview, as I was watching it, I questioned his credibility. Later on, he actually talked to Vatican officials, and he was one of the key people in the Vatican's decision to laicize McCarrick. So obviously the Vatican takes him seriously, and if they take him seriously, these allegations are probably true. But anyway, in this newest interview, he alleges that Cardinal Bernardine, formerly of Chicago, he died in 1996, he alleges that Cardinal Bernardine sexually assaulted him. Now this is actually a really shocking claim, and it could send shockwaves through the entire Church of the United States, and up to the Vatican. It could shake things up majorly there. Church Militant also claims that they have documents from the Archdiocese of Chicago alleging that their current Cardinal Cupich covered up for Bernardine's crimes. Now, everyone has an opinion on Church Militant, so we'll have to wait and see what comes of those claims. And as of right now, Church Militant is the only media site reporting on that. So I'll keep an eye on this story and see where it goes. So now I would like to change gears and talk about my reaction to the USCCB conference that happened several weeks ago. So the USCCB meeting was shorter than the November meeting, and this time they did not have an open forum for bishops to just give their comments on whatever they thought. So the bishops that wanted to let their opinion be heard had to speak during presentations. Some of the speeches were not necessarily relevant to what was being presented. So for example, the first topic was immigration, and during immigration, Bishop Strickland and another bishop spoke about pro-abortion politicians that claim to be Catholic and how they should be corrected. The fact that immigration was the first topic on the agenda, there's 78 million reasons why it would be, and that's the revenue that the USCCB receives from the government for immigration services. What's surprising was that there was absolutely no presentations on pro-life issues, which is a huge topic in our country because some states have passed laws that restrict abortion and some have passed laws that unrestrict abortion. So it would be interesting to kind of have a discussion about pro-life and what the bishops hope to do to encourage the pro-life adoption of laws in all states. There was a certain moment that really kind of summed everything up for me, and it was when Bishop Thomas Paparocki of Springfield, Illinois, spoke whenever Wilton Gregory was presenting, and Bishop Paparocki congratulated Wilton Gregory for being appointed as the Archbishop of Washington. Now, Bishop Paparocki spoke strongly against pro-abortion politicians that call themselves Catholic. He said that they should not receive communion, conflicting with Wilton Gregory, who allowed Cardinal McCarrick in 2004 to speak at the USCCB meeting regarding Pope Benedict's directive that pro-abortion politicians should not receive communion. McCarrick actually kind of paraphrased the letter and made it seem like pro-abortion politicians could receive communion. Archbishop Gregory allowed that to happen. So there's a big conflict on theology, but the fact that Bishop Paparocki congratulated Archbishop Wilton Gregory, I'll have to post the video, but the fact that he congratulated him and said it's well-deserved and we were friends from seminary in Chicago, that's concerning to me because I think that our bishops need to take a strong stand against the bishops who are kind of on the fringes of Catholic morality. If anything about Bernardine is true, Archbishop Wilton Gregory served for 10 years under Bernardine. So the fact that it's kind of like a good old boys club, it doesn't make me very happy. And there's guys like Bishop Strickland who are trying to stand up for the truth and say, release the McCarrick files. And I think that would have been the fitting discussion whenever Wilton Gregory was speaking, to say, now that you're Archbishop of Washington, you have this powerful position, release the McCarrick files, because no one else is going to do it. The bishops also decided to update the United States Catechism on the death penalty, which goes against what Thomas Aquinas taught, but anyway, it was not surprising because a lot of these bishops has been speaking publicly out about it. But I'm not going to get into that discussion today. Now, Bishop Barron was presenting on the death penalty and the new adoptions to the catechism. I posted a video where Bishop Barron spoke about it, and he used the term eloquent ambiguity to describe Pope Francis's stance to the death penalty. And I said, I guess that means he supports the terminology Pope Francis uses, because I don't think I'd ever use eloquent to describe ambiguity unless it refers to any kind of fiction or a movie. But in terms of ambiguity, a pope should try to avoid that as much as possible. So that's a cause for concern, not a cause for, acknowledging that. And the last part I just want to discuss is the adoption of the Metropolitan Bishops model. Now, there were discussions of a telephone reporting system. I don't know if there was a database maybe they had discussions of. And what they decided was they're going to work on something and then come up with something for the next USCCB meeting. So they're just postponing it and postponing it and postponing it. And I think the biggest thing was Bishop Strickland. He advocated for lay boards, and there was another bishop who advocated for lay review boards for abuse allegations. They didn't adopt that program, and they won't. They said it's optional for the bishops to institute lay review boards in their own diocese. So think about this. Which bishops are going to adopt the lay review boards in their own diocese? It's the ones who have nothing to hide. So the good bishops, the ones who are concerned about transparency, they're the ones who are going to adopt the lay review boards. Everyone else is going to rely on the Metropolitan Bishop model. So if you look at the region of the Midwest, who is the Metropolitan Bishop? Cardinal Supich. He's been tied to McCarrick. Again, it just comes back to what I was saying before about the Metropolitan Archbishop model. And you look at what I mentioned before about Archbishop Lori of Baltimore. He was bribed by a corrupt bishop in West Virginia. So this stuff is happening, and nothing's being changed about it. The USCCB meeting just further demonstrates that the USCCB is a good old boys club, and the mentions of synodality by people like Worrell. Synodality refers to, I guess it's called walking together, like unity. Yeah, they want people to stick together because they want people to cover up for their crimes. So with a good old boys club, no one's going to really try to rat anyone out or call anyone out. I think we need accountability. It's time for accountability. If the bishops won't do it, we're going to have to work through the St. Joseph's Battalion to call them out. So if you haven't seen some of the video clips, take a look. And yeah, we'll see what comes up with Cardinal Bernardine and his network. I'll be keeping a close eye on things to see what happens.